Claret's up there as a wideout too. The ball goes into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended for Gamble. Now there is a penalty flag thrown.
Hold on.
Hold the phone. Everybody comes running down on the field. You got to get off because there's a penalty flag thrown, and I think it's against Miami.
And if it's thrown in the end zone, the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First and goal.
Glenn Sharp trying to cover Chris Gamble, and he may have arrived a tad too soon. Randy Crystal. Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The time has come. It is playoff time. Tonight, the quarterfinals officially begin in Dallas, Texas. The Cotton Bowl will host the probably one of the most anticipated games of the weekend. Miami versus Ohio State. Ohio State is, I think right now they're at an 11-point favorite to win the ball game. But hey, you never know. You never know. But first things first, let me welcome in my co-host here, D True. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Getting ready for the new year?
Oh yeah, you know how it go, bro. Hey, it is what it is. You know the football season when it start to get cold. You know the football season when it start to get cold. Some of these teams, some of these bowl games, that's why they held in the South. Some of these bowl games. But to Alpha comment about the SEC, who cares what the rest of the SEC does? If the SEC win the championship, guess what? What is the best conference? Hey,
That's
that's
all
all
that
I gotta
matters.
say. That's all that
Yeah, that's
matters.
yeah. I only care about one SEC record. That's my Georgia Bulldogs. I don't give a damn what Tennessee does. I don't give a damn what Kentucky does or any of the rest of them. I only care about one, and that is my Georgia Bulldogs. So I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. One of them SEC fans. It's all about the SEC. No, I only care about one thing only. My Georgia Bulldogs. So I just wanted to address that real quick here. That's the only record I care about is Georgia's record in these bowl games and in these playoffs. Now,
And,
go
and
ahead.
another thing is when you bought the bowl game. Hey, look, every team in the SEC gets split the bowl game money in a damn way. So who cares?
Yeah, and then the thing about it, the SEC players, they have a lot of opt outs. Tennessee had a lot of opt outs. Um, you know, Players tend to opt out more in the SEC. That's why they need to actually. I think they need to do what March Madness does, what college basketball does. Have a NIT tournament, an NIT football tournament. And give the kids a little incentive for playing in the bowl game because these kids are not going to play. These kids are not going to play in no meaningless bowl game. They're not. You can't blame them. Like Chris Brazzell. Chris Brazzell is a projected first rounder. Um, it would be egregious for him to go play in a meaningless bowl game. That's not going to benefit him at all. I love the sport of college football. I grew up watching bowl games as a kid, but times have changed. Times have changed, and it is what it is. It is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and go on in Big Ten proving to y'all where, yeah, I hear you, bro. You don't even believe that yourself. You don't even believe that yourself. Stop with the excuses, bro. SEC conference is a product of the media narrative, propaganda, revenue. But you know what though? You know what though, sir? Y'all got a long way to catch up. You do know that. You do know how many national titles, BCS titles, that the SEC win in a row. D True. Let's start Florida in '06, LSU '07, Florida again in '08, Bama in '09, Auburn 2010, Bama in 2011. Six. The SEC won 6 national titles in a row. The Big Ten, as a matter of fact, let's count the Big Ten national titles this century. Ohio State won in 2002. Ohio State won in 2014. Michigan won in 2023, and Ohio State won last year. 4. I can count on one hand how many national titles the Big Ten has won this century, in the 21st century. So have a seat, enjoy that little 15 minutes of fame. Thanks to the NIL, thanks to the transfer portal, y'all starting to get a few chips right now. But four, Ohio State '02, Ohio State 2014, Michigan 2023, and Ohio State last year. That's it. Four natties. Four natties. Four natties. That's it. Out of 25 years. 4. You're bragging about that? Really? You're bragging about that?
Oh, I'm finna really make Ohio State fans mad now.
Just saying,
See,
bro, I mean, do the math. Do the
hey, hey,
math.
but check
What
this
the
out.
hell?
Hey, Michigan got 10 total national championship. Ohio State only got 9.
Yeah,
See,
they tied with
basi-
Auburn. They tied
yeah.
with Auburn. Yeah. Auburn got
So
9. Ohio State got 9. That's what I'm saying. Y'all playing catch up, bro. They playing catch up. Y'all playing catch up in the 21st century. Y'all playing catch up, but keep that energy because see, the playoffs just beginning. The playoffs just beginning. Go ahead and say what you was getting ready to say, man.
And how many SEC teams did got in the playoff? Four, five.
Five.
How many Big Ten? Four.
Hmm.
So what that tell you about the scheduling?
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about it is, what they don't talk about, what they don't mention is Ohio State from 1968 to 2002. That y'all went like 30, 34 years, 34 years without winning the national title. Y'all was on the 34-year dry spell without winning a national title. Michigan went from 97 to 2023. I mean, come on, man. So y'all got four. The Big Ten has four national titles. Let me count them again now. 2020, 2002, Ohio State, and that's tainted. Miami was robbed. Everybody knows that. Salute to you, Terry, in the chat. Everybody know Miami was robbed in 2002. But we'll go ahead and count it. 2014, Ohio State. 2023, Michigan. 2024, Ohio State. Let's count the SEC national titles this century. I ain't even going back to the 19th century. We're going to count this. We're going to count the 21st century. Okay? LSU 03, Florida 06, LSU 07, Florida 08, Bama 09, Auburn 2010, Bama 2011, Bama 2012, Ohio State won in 14, Bama 15, Clemson won in 16. That's the ACC. Bama 17. That's 11. I don't ran out of hands. That's 11. Bama 17 in 11. 18 Clemson. 19 LSU. That's 12. 13 2020 Bama. 14 Georgia 2021. 15 Georgia 2022. Man, the SEC has won 15 out of 25 years. D True. The SEC has won 15 national titles.
Yeah. Hey, look.
These clowns in the chat bragging about them little four. Now hold up now. The ACC got the Big Ten beat this century. Let's count the ACC national titles. Okay?
Clemson twice.
Clemson twice. That's two. Florida State 2013. Wait, they got the ACC beat by one. They got the ACC beat. They got the ACC. Look at the Big 12. Texas. You got to count because Texas was in the Big 12 most of the 21st century. Texas, Oklahoma 2. Okay, so the Big 10 is in second place by that much. Y'all got 4 natties this century. We got 15, bro. Come on, y'all playing catch up. Y'all got how many they got to go? How many more they got to go? 11. Y'all got 11 more to go to catch us this century, bro. Come on, man. Hey, now, speaking of the Big Ten, I want to give a big congratulations to Kyle Willingham. Kyle Willingham, the new head coach of Michigan. I thought he was done. The truth, I thought he was retired. He's not. He's no spring chicken, but I love what he did with that Utah program, and I think he'll do great things at Michigan. Michigan pulled one out of their hat. How do you feel about that hire, D Truth?
We'll see. We will see where it goes, and he got a lot of things to straighten out at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He got a work cut out. I'm gonna compare his job to what Alex Golish got to do in Auburn. They got their work cut out, bro. They got the work cut out.
Mm.
So with that bad stigma on Michigan now, just like that bad stigma was on Penn State when when that thing played out at Penn State. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? And for Alpha talking about when the last time Auburn been relevant. Uh, the last time Ohio State played Auburn, guess who won that game?
Yeah, I know we never lost to Ohio State. We're 3-0 against them.
Oh,
Lifetime.
Auburn.
We
Look,
three
look,
and
look.
0. We 3-0. We 3-0 against Ohio State lifetime, and we're I think we're 2-1 against the only Big Ten school that we have a losing record to is Nebraska.
And the thing about
Yeah.
it, January 1st, 1990, the Hall of Fame Bowl, Auburn beat Ohio State 31-14. So when the Ohio State gonna put Auburn on their schedule, you think Auburn is? If people think Auburn just is irrelevant, you know what I'm saying? They a big part of the SEC. Do I'm gonna ask you this question, Amondo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you this question.
hold up before you answer that question. Okay, cause see, let me refresh your memory. You trolling, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on you, Black Raider. You're trolling, okay? Cause number one, in the 21st century, the BCS put the two best teams in it, and most of the times we beat when the SEC won the national title. Guess who was the opponent on the other side? It was a Big Ten school. Let's take a look at it. In '03, I'm sorry, '06. Who did Florida beat? They blew out Ohio State. In '07, who did LSU beat? They blew out Ohio State. And one would argue the Big 12 was, at one time, the Big 12 was the second best conference behind the SEC. When Oklahoma and Texas and Nebraska was in the Big 12, and Oklahoma State was doing well. That program at one time the Big 12 was the second best conference back in the early 2000s. I never said Miami won the ACC. I never said Miami. I didn't count Miami. I didn't count Miami. You see, that's what I'm saying. I said Clemson 2 times, Florida State. I counted Florida State. Florida State, they won in 2013, and Clemson won twice. Those are 2 ACC teams, sir. And they both won their conference, sir. Clean the wax out your ear, G Bama. You heard wrong. I never said Miami won the ACC. Never. All right, now back to regular scheduled program. See, y'all trolling. Can't troll me because I know facts. I know facts. I keep everything filed up in here. Most of the opponents that lost to the SEC, most of the opponents that lost to the SEC in those BCS games were Big Ten schools. Or if they weren't Big Ten schools, they were Big 12 schools. And when the playoff era rolled around, y'all couldn't get past Clemson. Ohio State could never get past Clemson. I think it was like, how many years was it in a row? D-True? 3-4 years in a row they kept losing to Clemson in the playoffs.
I think it was.
Yeah, that's why we didn't see. That's why you always got Bama and Clemson during that time. You kept getting Bama and Clemson in the national title, or LSU and Clemson, because Ohio State and Michigan could never get past Clemson, and Michigan State could never get past Bama. It is what it is, man. But today, we're talking about today, the here and now. Currently, I will give you your props. Michigan, but see, y'all bragging on Michigan, but weren't you saying, Alpha, that Michigan titles are tainted? Didn't you say that Michigan title should have an asterisk by it and it shouldn't count? Now, this morning, you're counting it. Ain't that what he said, D-True? Ain't that what he been saying last 3 years? He said it on the panel. He said on the panel, he said Michigan national title. These were your words, Alpha. You said Michigan's national title should not count. So technically, according to you, sir, according to your logic, that drops y'all down to 3 for the century. That drops y'all down to 3. Okay. Black Raider, do you agree with Alpha that Michigan title should not count? Hey man, let's go ahead and dive on into it, man. What you was about to say now?
I'm like this right here with color footballs. This it ain't like the old BCS. You know what I'm saying? For the NIL transfer portal, all that stuff. You pretty much know who your team is coming in the next year. You know what I'm saying? So now with all this going on, it's best when you got your players go ahead and try to win it now, because you don't know what your team will be looking like next year. Because I have seen and I have read there's some players whose team is in the college football playoff in the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
Make that make sense. You see what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like get your players. Better go ahead and win it while you can. Now, this day and age, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. So, the Miami and Ohio State, it's gonna be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as far as I see, Miami ain't getting no respect.
Let me okay. Let's go ahead and get into it. And then I'm gonna ask you what I was getting ready to ask you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody hit that like button. And everyone out for those of you that are on your way to work or if you're off and you're doing your New Year's cleaning and you're listening in, happy New Year to you all. Have a safe and blessed happy New Year. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. Like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. Okay, I'm gonna shoot this question to you, D Truth, and you everyone in the chat, I also want you to participate as well. Miami can pull off the upset tonight if fill in the blank. D Truth. Fill in the blank, G Bama, Alpha, Black Raider, anyone else that's ghost watching, anyone else that's typing, those of you on the Facebook side typing, Miami can pull off the upset tonight if blank.
And if Carson Beck be himself that we know he could be.
Now, Miami can pull off the upset tonight if.
That's what I'm saying. That that what I just
Oh,
said.
okay, you
By
said
Carson
you said
Beck.
if he beat himself. You if he
No,
don't
no, no,
beat
no, no.
if he don't beat himself.
I
If he
said
don't
be
beat
himself.
if you don't want him to be himself. You don't want well you don't
But you
want
know,
him. Yeah,
but
man, you been sip on some coffee, man. You don't want him to be himself. Himself is throwing the ball to the other team. That's what we all see ever since Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey left and went into the NFL, brother, Carson Beck has been known to throw the ball to the other team. Now I'm going to ask you that question again. Miami can pull off the upset tonight if.
just like I said. See, I see the different side of Carson Beck. You see what I'm saying? I know what you talking about. What I mean by being himself, the last few games he don't play at Miami. The last two games, that's what I meant by be himself, like he was in them games. That's what I meant by that. You see what I'm saying? So, and they got to get that running game going. They got to get the running game going. They got to run the ball. Don't just put it all on Carson Beck. Don't put it all on Carson Beck.
Okay. Apple says Miami. Hold on, let me read everybody's comment. Hold on, let me go back up. Run the ball. G Bama said if they had another quarterback. See, that's what I'm saying, man. That's that. Hey, man, lasting impressions. Impressions is what people see. Apple said, okay, so Apple said, I like the answer Apple gave. Miami can pull off the upset if Julian Sand throws bad interceptions that put Miami in scoring position. Facts. G Bama says Miami won't be able to score enough. I see field goals only. Yeah, man, I agree with you on that too, bro.
But what the other
Yeah.
problem is, what bigger game have Julius Sand been in besides that Big Ten championship game? He's not. He's what, a freshman.
Well, see, this is
You see what I'm going with? Who- We don't know how he gonna react if Miami defense start pulling off what they're gonna pull off. If we know Miami got a defense.
okay. See, this is the thing. All right. Now, a lot of people that are picking Miami, they're putting too much stock into Texas A&M. Let me give everybody some real talk here. Texas A&M played the bottom tier SEC teams. They did not see Ole Miss. They did not see Georgia. They did not see Bama. They did not see Oklahoma. They saw Texas. They saw Florida. They saw Auburn. They didn't see Tennessee. They didn't see Vanderbilt. They didn't see the top tier part of the SEC. They seen the lower end of the SEC. Now here's
Hey, hey,
another thing.
hey,
Hold on,
don't
let me
forget.
finish.
Hey, don't
Go
forget
ahead.
they barely got past Auburn.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I mentioned that. But here's the thing, and that's what. Now I'm getting ready to go where I'm getting ready to go. All right, Auburn has a good defense. Ohio State has an elite defense. Ohio State, there are players on that Ohio State defense that are projected to go first round. Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Curry, Caleb Downs. They're loaded, man. That damn defense is loaded, bro. Then you look at the coordinator, a Super Bowl winning three-time, three-time, three-time Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia. And you also, here's another thing too. In my opinion, for this playoff run, Ohio State needs to be a little bit more aggressive on offense, and Ryan Day is an aggressive play caller. Ryan Day is calling the plays tonight. I don't know what Heartline is going to be doing. I think Heartline is going to be some type of advisor or whatever, because Heartline is getting ready to go down to Tampa and take over South Florida University. Salute to you, Clarence Banks Jr. But this Ohio State team is loaded. Now, back to Julian Sand. He ain't no Dwayne Haskins, okay? God rest his soul. He's not no Justin Fields. He ain't flashy. He's not an elite quarterback. He's a game manager. He's more of a game manager. You look at Ohio State and their past national titles. Who did they win with? They won with game managers. 0-2, Craig Krenzel. 2014, Cardell Jones, game manager. He wasn't flashy. He was no Lamar Jackson. He was no Michael Vick. He was a game manager. He moved the ball. He kept the chains moving, and he protected the ball, and he didn't put Ohio State in situations by, turning the ball over. Will Howard, game manager last year. They don't need no flashy QB. You in this day and time, you don't need no flashy QB to win a national title. You don't need that. But that defense, that
Mm-hmm.
defense, that's a national championship winning defense, my brother. Go ahead.
But who had Ohio State play beside Indiana with a legit offense and defense? Look at their schedule.
Oh, you
Look at
can't,
their
you
schedule.
can't. I hear what you're saying, brother. I hear what you're saying. There are two toughest teams, Texas, Indiana. Okay, they struggled to score against Texas. The final score was 14-7, but they won. They lost to Indy. I've said that we're gonna find out a lot about Ohio State. They haven't really been busted in the mouth yet. I think they will get busted in the mouth tonight. I'm not saying they won't get busted in the mouth tonight. But what I'm saying is the same thing that people are saying about Ohio State in 2025 as far as that schedule, they said the same thing about us in 2022. Because our schedule in 2022, we only had two, in my opinion, we only had two legitimate tough opponents on that schedule, on that entire schedule. Oregon, the season opener, and LSU at the end of the season in the SEC championship game. I'm sorry, Tennessee, Oregon, Tennessee, and LSU. But that's 3 games out of 12. You can only play what's in front of you. You can only play the schedule that's in front of you. But that don't usurp the fact that Ohio State is an elite team on both sides of the ball. They're elite. Can't take that away from them. No, what's this? Go ahead.
See, I ain't taking them away from them, but you can't. I look at it. I'm looking at the comparison with Miami and Ohio State. This is a new season. This is a new season. You feel what I'm saying? This is a new season, and we know how last year went, right? Ohio State went. It's the only one that had a bye last year. It went on went to the national championship. Hey, we're gonna find out what both teams man up tonight. That's the bottom line.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I think we're gonna find out what. But one thing we do know about Miami, one thing I will say about Miami that I already know from watching the game last week. Um, they don't trust Carson Beck. Their offensive coordinator does not trust Carson Beck, and neither does Cristobal. But here's the thing: Matt Patricia comes from the school of hard knocks of Bill Belichick. And what is Bill Belichick known to do? Bill Belichick is known, ladies and gentlemen, to take away your best player on offense. That's what Bill Belichick has been doing this for years. He did it to Buffalo in that Super Bowl. They took away Jim Kelly. He said, okay, Thurman Thomas, you can run all day, all night on us. But Jim Kelly, you're not going to beat us. Did it to the Rams. They took away Marshall Faulk. Told Kurt Warner, okay, Kurt Warner, you can beat us with Torrey Holt and Andre, but Marshall Faulk, he ain't going to be a part of the game plan. He's going to take away Mark Fletcher tonight. D-True. He's going to take away Mark Fletcher tonight. Now, what you're saying, and what I think, what I'm reading between the lines, what you're saying is, if Carson Beck reverts back to the 2023 Carson Beck, then that could give Ohio State some problems. I agree with you. If Carson Beck comes out and play like he did in that Tennessee game last year, how he played for us in that Tennessee game last year, oh, hell yeah, he'll be a problem. But what are the chances of that? When you got Reese coming from one side, Styles coming from the other, and Curry coming up the middle. And you got Caleb Downs, you don't know which way he coming from. They gonna have, look, it's the playoffs, D-True. They're gonna have to air it out. You don't have nothing to lose. You don't have anything to lose, man. There is no tomorrow. They're gonna have to trust him down the field. That what they did against Texas A&M, running gadget plays with Malachi Tony and running Mark Fletcher up the middle. That caught the Aggies off guard. And remember now, the Aggies' run defense was kind of suspect. Ohio State, it is hard as hell to run on that defense. It's hard. They're gonna have to get into that secondary. They're going to have to test that secondary. Go said, keep thinking Fletcher's about to go out. Oh no. Go J203. I will never say Ohio State's defense. There's nothing mid about that defense. Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me real good. There's a reason why Ohio State is favored by, Vegas got them favored by 10, 11 points. There's a reason. When the spread is that damn high, there's a reason. Now, does it always go that way? No, it does not. It does not. Does not. I think the game will be close. I think it'll be close, but for Miami to pull off this upset, they're going to have to beat Ohio State in the air. They're going to have to do something that I don't think they want to do. Because when you get in the playoffs, you play to win. You don't play, you got to coach to win. You can't coach not to lose. You got to coach to win. And if you want to win, you got to loosen up that defense because they're going to load that box all night long because they already know what Miami want to do. And that's line up and run the ball. Run Mark Fletcher.
I'm going to tell you, I think that this game tonight going to come down to special teams. Either the punt return, the kickoff return, field goal. It's going to come down to special teams. Because I feel like this. Neither team going to be able to do that against the other team's offense. And the other team defense, I bet.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. Does this Ohio State team have any weakness? I don't see any. I'm sorry. I don't see any weaknesses. I don't. Now that doesn't mean they can't be beat. Hell, there's a lot of teams that, in my eyes, did not have any weaknesses, but their ass got beat. I said the same thing about that 05 USC Trojan team, but they got their ass beat. I said the same thing about that 02 Miami team. I thought that was one of the greatest college football teams of all time, but they went out there and lost to Ohio State. I said that about the 2016 Bama team. I said it. I don't see no damn weaknesses. But they went out there and lost to Clemson. I also said in 2018, when Tua was the quarterback, and then Najee Harris, and they had the damn the SEC version of the greatest show on turf with Waddle and Judy and Ruggs and Devontae Smith. The greatest wide receiver core of all time in college football. I didn't see any weaknesses on that team, but they lost. Not only did they lose, they got their ass ran out of Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. So me saying that I don't see any weaknesses in this Ohio State team does not guarantee a win, because any given Saturday, any given Friday night, any given game, you can be beaten. But from my eye test in 2025 and watching this team, and yes, I'm including the Big Ten, I don't really think Ohio State took that game seriously against Indiana. I'm not saying it's a fluke, no shade to Indiana fans or anything like that, but something was off about Ohio State that night. Something was off about them, but this team have no weaknesses. Now, are they as good as they were last year? Hell no. Hell no. Nowhere near it. That damn team they had last year was a juggernaut. I saw them close up in person, live with my own eyes. But uh, this team, as far as weaknesses, I don't see any. D true, I don't. Now I maybe you tell me what weaknesses do you see?
I'm gonna say this right here. We better not see no weaknesses. I don't care what team it is. I don't care what team it is. We better not see no weakness with this in that team. But don't let if we don't see no weakness in that team as we watch them play this year. It don't mean they don't have none. That mean the coaches did a good job of covering up their weaknesses. Feel what I'm saying on that?
I hear what you're saying. That's hypothetical. I'm only
Yeah.
going off of what I've seen this year. I watched them play against Texas. I watched them play against Penn State. I watched them play against when they went on the road to Washington. Now that's a tough ass place. You don't go into Seattle in the Husky Stadium and do what they did. and not be that. I mean that this team is elite. They are elite, and I don't, man. They number one. They got the number one ranked defense. The number one. Think about it, and think about all the teams with good defenses this year: Oklahoma, Miami, Texas A&M, Bama, Georgia. Think about all the teams with the damn good defenses this year. Ohio State is ranked higher than Indiana. I'm sorry, throw Indiana in the top three. Ohio State is ranked higher than any of those teams I just named. And Miami, what worries me about Miami, Carson Beck is not mobile at all. For any team to have any chance in hell of beating this Ohio State team or penetrating through this Ohio State defense, you got to at least have a mobile quarterback. Carson Beck is not mobile. And that's why I keep telling, I've been telling Miami fans all week, D Truth. My biggest concern is Carson Beck. Now, if they had Cam Ward, if this was Cam Ward, oh bruh, I guarantee you it would be a pick'em game. Or Ohio State Vegas would have them about a 1.5 points. It would not be double digits. It's double digits because Vegas does not trust Carson Beck.
Yeah, you might be right, but Carson Beck might be the one that beat him. Cause hey, we have seen. Let compare Carson Beck to Julius Sands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State. We know what Carson Beck made of. We know how he plays sometimes in big game. He been in big game, and we know sometimes how he plays sometimes in big game. He can be the one that throws an interception in big games, or he could be the one to beat you in the big game. Okay. Julius Sands, what two big game this year, a freshman, and coming in this big spotlight, first year. You see where I'm going with it? Like I said, which of one of the two quarterback gonna have a big game?
Let me ask you a question. D. True. Which coaching staff do you trust? Harline, Ryan. We're just gonna go offense now because Matt Patricia is proven. Remember, he got 3 rings, 3 Super Bowl rings. But let's look at the offensive side. Which coach do you trust more in these type of games? Ryan Day or Mario Cristobal? I'm just saying, man.
But hey, hold on. Mario Cristobal, look, he ain't no slouch. He's on coach big game. You see what I'm saying? So both coaches ain't no slouch. But the problem, you can have the coaches. They can call the plays all on the sideline, but the coach can't go out there and play. What I'm saying, you feel what I'm saying? The coach cannot go out there and play. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can, hey, let's take the coaches out of it. We talking about the players themselves. Julius Sands, what will happen? That Miami defense cranks it up, start getting pressure on him. How he gonna react? Is he gonna react like he did at any other game? See where I'm going with it?
Well, here's the thing though. Ohio State has played. One thing we do know: Ohio State has faced two elite defenses this year. I watched both of them games. Julian Sand got touched up a little bit by Indiana. They didn't hardly touch him in the Texas game. Ohio State has a damn good offensive line. As a matter of fact, I trust Ohio State's offensive line more than I do Miami's offensive line. Miami has a damn good offensive line, but if you look at the second half of that Texas A&M defense, they was getting pressure on Carson Beck. Every time he dropped back like 2 steps, those Aggie D linemen was in his face. So that's something else that a lot of people are not talking about. Miami's O-line ain't as good. And Miami's O-line ain't as good as Indiana's O-line. Miami's O-line is it's okay, but it ain't elite. Carson Beck has been put on the ground many times this year. Many times. Where I ain't Julian saying after every game, with the exception of that Indiana game, his jersey been clean. And I mentioned this on a couple of other kickoff shows. Julian saying jersey has been clean most of the year. Where we've seen what has been happening to Carson Beck. We saw what Louisville did to Carson Beck. We saw what SMU did to Carson Beck. And here's the thing, D. True. We don't even know. A lot of people are assuming that Miami is the best team in the ACC. We don't know that. We don't know because, in my opinion, the 2 best teams in the SEC did not play each other this year, and that's Georgia Tech and Miami.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I'm just saying it's not about it goes over the officer's line, yes. But I look at this right here. I'm looking at the game from all kind of perspective, right? Which defense can impose their will on what offense? That's what it's gonna come down to. And the special teams. Like I said, you say it's gonna be a close game. Guess what? I think it's gonna be a close game. Which special team can make a big play? Who can hold field position? That's it. Like I said, it this right here, it really for how you say, man, it's win or go home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's win or go home. So the only chance, let me say it again, the only chance in hell that Miami has of winning this game is Mario Cristobal has to go, and the OC, they're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to come out aggressive tonight. That lining up, running Fletcher up, it's not going to work. They're going to stack the box. Matt Patricia is going to take away the run game completely, and including all those gadget plays. They're going to work the edges. Caleb Downs is the best open field tackler in the game today. Hell, he's a better open field tackler than some of them safeties in the NFL. I'm just being honest with you, man. And ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, I'm not an Ohio State fan. I could give two craps about Ohio State, but I can't come on here and lie. I can't I can't come on here and sell you Miami fans in the pipe dreams. This Ohio State team is elite. They are elite. This ain't Texas A&M. This ain't Pitt. This ain't Notre Dame. This Ohio State team is elite. And don't get it twisted by what happened against Indiana. Indiana's elite also. You're going to find that out tomorrow. That's another conversation for tomorrow morning's kickoff show. That Indiana team is elite.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted. I don't. Miami, Ohio State. I ain't neither one of them fans, right? But from my perspective, we just give our opinion. When you get to between the white line, we're gonna find out what what really giddy up is.
You're going to find out tonight, bro. It is show and tell tonight.
Cause, cause Vegas got them 11 and a half point favorite. Psh, how many times have Vegas been right this year about point spread?
Vegas is Vegas has been wrong a lot.
Especially,
Vegas has been wrong a lot.
especially
They
this year.
had let's go back to week one. Bama was what, a 16-point favorite against Florida State, 16, 17-point favorite against Florida State. Oregon was what, a 7-point favorite against Indiana. So, like I said, I'm just going off of my eye test. That Ohio State team, I don't see any weaknesses. Now, does it mean that they're unbeatable? No, it doesn't. It does not. Next Q&A. Which head coach is under the most pressure to win this game tonight? Without a doubt, by a mile, it's Ryan Day. Cristobal is playing with house money. Nobody expected Miami to even make it this far. It's definitely Ryan Day. Because in a lot of people's eyes, a lot of people feel like that this should be a cakewalk to a back-to-back championship for Ohio State and Ryan Day. So
Yeah.
if he loses this
Yep.
game tonight, for him to lose this game tonight, bro, that seat gonna heat up again.
Yeah.
All hell gonna break loose in
And
Columbus.
you know what'd be funny though? You know what? Well, not too hard. A State fan. All right. Last year they lost to Michigan and won the national championship. Right.
Mm.
This year they beat Michigan and don't win the national championship. Yeah, that seat really gonna get high for Ryan Day if they don't win it
Well, yeah. Well, if
tonight.
you want to piss off, if a fan base like Ohio State, if you want to piss them off. Now let's look at Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel, he was known for beating Michigan. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was undefeated against Michigan. But when when he got blew out by Florida in the national title, in the BCS title game, and then turned around the following year and got blew out by LSU, fans in Columbus wasn't happy about that. They were not happy with him at all. They were not. Um, Ryan Day needs this game. If it's a situation that they don't repeat this year, they cannot lose to a team that barely made the cut. Remember, Miami barely made the cut. Miami was a bubble team for most of November because when the playoff selection, when they first started, remember, Miami was coming off a loss to SMU. So if Ohio State go out tonight and lose to this Miami team, the pressure it will be on Ryan Day. I think Cristobal playing with house money. I mean, it was 11-point underdog. Nobody. The only people that are predicting Miami to win are Miami people. Most people outside of Miami, they're rooting. They're rooting for Miami because of the Ohio State hate. They're rooting for Miami to pull off the upset, but they don't believe it. Why? Because they don't believe in Carson Beck. And some will tell you they don't believe in Cristobal.
Like I said, yeah, Rondé is under the most pressure for the night because the fan want. I'm gonna tell you, Ohio State fan want to beat Michigan and win the national championship to rub it in their face, just like Michigan did the year they won the national championship, beat Ohio State. They won the national championship. What did the Michigan fan do? Rub it in their face, right?
Hmm.
So Ohio State fan want to return the favor. So he under pressure. He under pressure.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on into our keys to victory here. Keys to victory. Keys to victory for Miami tonight. I'm going to go first on this one. No turnovers. Do not turn the ball over. Don't make it easy for Ohio State. If Ohio State beat you, make them earn it. Do not give them a short field. No mistakes on special teams. No nothing. No dumb play calls by Cristobal, and you got to be a little bit more aggressive. You got to be a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive than what you were last Saturday. Like I keep saying, this ain't Texas A&M. This is Ohio State, the defending national champions. You got to bring your A game. Play calling. The coaches got to bring their A game. The players got to bring their A game. But the number one key to victory, do not turn the ball over to this team. Do not turn the ball over to Ohio State. You do that, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
Oh yeah, you right about that. I gotta agree with you. That I gotta add one more thing. You got to run the doggone ball. I don't care if 1 or 2, 3 yards. You got to stay ahead of the chain. You got to stay ahead of the chain against this Ohio State defense. Because you get behind the chain, then they put pressure on the quarterback to make throws that he don't want to make, and they make the offensive line have to block longer than they had to. You got to run the ball. You got to find some way to run the ball. You don't necessarily have to run the ball up the middle. Run it on the outside. Run them big defensive linemen. Run them linebackers. Get them tired. After you run it to the outside, then guess what? You can run it up the middle. I'm gonna ask you this question, Mano, and ask the chat this. What hurts the team more? Takes away their pride. Hurts their pride more when you run the ball up the middle against them and
I hear
start
what you're
getting young.
saying.
They
I hear
got they
what you're
got
saying.
to. They got to. Hey, cause if you don't try to run the ball, if you abandon the run game, you put more pressure on the quarterback. And guess what? Don't turn the ball over theory. It goes out the window.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, Miami is going to be ready for that. You got to have a plan B. You can't come out there and and try to line up against this Ohio State team. They have an elite defensive line, big, stout defensive line. This ain't Texas A&M. What worked against that Aggies defensive front, I don't think it'll work against that Ohio State defensive front, bro. I don't think it will. They're going to have to do like Indiana did. They're going to have to spread that Ohio State defense out, and they're going to have to put the ball in the air. That's the only way Indiana won that game. Go look at the highlights. That's the only way.
The question is, how do you? How, but you still got to run the ball. You can spread them out, and still run the ball. You see what I'm saying? Spread them out, make it look like a pass. They're gonna take it a pass, run the ball. You see what I'm saying? And cause it does two things. It does two things. You run the ball and keep them honest. You see what I'm saying? Keep the Ohio State defense honest. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to stay ahead of the chain.
Well, yeah, I'm saying they can't do like they did last Saturday and run on first down, run on first, second, and third down. That ain't gonna work. They get blown out. They'll get their ass blown out of AT&T Stadium if they come out there with that mess against Ohio State. Running on first down, run up the middle on second down, run up the middle on third down. And then you turn around and then you fall behind, which is the last thing they need, and which brings me to this. Keys to victory for Ohio State tonight: put them away early. Let me say it again. Put them away early. Do not do what you did against Indiana. You can't bullshit around with this with this Miami team. You can't. They're dangerous. If you give them hope and you carry them, what I mean by carrying them, I mean by not being aggressive, playing around, leaving points on the field, missing field goals. If you give them any inkling of hope, they will upset your ass. You got to come out like you did against Tennessee in the playoffs last year, like you did in that Rose Bowl last year. You got to come out like that. You got to come out guns blazing, and you got to put their ass away early. You got to jump on them, score early and often. Because one thing we do know about Carson Beck, he's a front runner. He is comfortable with playing in a close game or being ahead. He ain't good in situations where if his team is down by 2 or more touchdowns. He ain't that type of quarterback. He ain't no Trinidad Chambers. He ain't no Ty Simpson. He ain't no Gunner. He don't play from behind. He don't play well from behind. He'll get antsy, and that's when he'll go to making mistakes. Throwing balls down the field, throwing them in tight spaces that he shouldn't throw them in. And boom, interception. So that's the key to victory for Ohio State. Jump on them early and often. Put their ass on the way. Put them away. And head on to Arizona. Go ahead.
I'm going to say the same thing. You, for stats and stuff like that, Ohio State got the most superior team right now against Miami. But if they don't put Miami away early and score every time they get, I don't care the field goal, touchdown. Ohio State gonna have a long night. They're gonna have a long night. They're gonna have a long night. Are you ready for the bold prediction?
Give me your bold prediction. Um, woo. I think the game will be close. That's about as bold as I can go with this. I think it'll be closer. I don't think Ohio State will cover the spread, but I don't think it's gonna be no blowout. And it won't be a blowout. And here's my bold prediction. If Miami win this game, it won't be because of Fletcher. It will have to be because of Carson Beck. If Miami wins this game, it'll be because Carson Beck went off like we've never seen him do.
I'm gonna go even bigger than this. Remember, I'm back gonna have over 100-yard rusher, and Carson Beck gonna go off at the same time.
That's a bold on Ohio State defense. You're saying they're gonna do all of that on Ohio State's defense.
Cause think about it, if Carson Beck goes off and throwing the ball, what Ohio State defense gonna have to do? They're gonna have to defend the pass, and what that opens up, the run game. And once an offensive lineman, I'm tell you, I used to be an offensive lineman. Once that offensive line started blocking and they start feeling good about themselves, and they're gonna open up the run game.
against this Ohio State defense. I keep. I
Yeah.
don't think you watched them play this year, man. I don't think you watched this defense play this year, man.
Oh, oh, oh! I watched them, and how good? I'm going to tell you why I said that. How good? How Auburn defense was? I'm going to say a whole lot better than Ohio State defense against the run.
Mhm.
And what Vanderbilt went in there to did? Do what Vanderbilt do to Auburn?
Yeah, but this Ohio State defense, with
It
all
don't
due
matter.
respect, Auburn
Hey,
defense ain't nowhere near on the level of Ohio State's, bro.
look
Not
at
on the
it.
back end. Ohio State got NFL first rounders in their secondary, bro. Auburn don't have that in their secondary.
Look, it doesn't matter, bro.
It
Hey,
does, bro.
hey, look here. When Carson Beck go off tonight, I'm taking Miami tonight because I feel like Carson Beck gonna go off.
Why you have to spoil it, man? We ain't got to that part yet. We ain't got to that part yet, man. You know you remind me of. You remind me of that dude on First Take that be on there with Stephen A. You remind me of Mad Dog. You know what I'm saying? Man, everybody try to do everything in order. Their Mad Dog just jump out in front of everybody. Go ahead and give me his predictions. Paul Feinbaum be doing that shit sometime too. Oh
Cause,
man, that
cause,
yeah,
cause,
I can be ring the bell. Yeah.
I feel like, cause like you said, everybody feel like Ohio State is the big bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, Ohio State is who they are. The running back gonna have an over 100-yard pass, running the ball, and the quarterback gonna have a field day passing. I ain't gonna say how many touchdowns he gonna have, but it's gonna happen. And we're gonna see a quarterback we never seen before tonight.
Oh, I've seen that Carson bet, Psycho Carson, again in that Tennessee game and in that Clemson game. So yeah, I've seen that Carson bet before, but I'm just saying, man, Carson Beck ain't seen no defense like what he gonna see tonight. The closest elite defense that he's seen, you know, seen that compares anywhere near this defense that he gonna see tonight is that Ole Miss defense from last year and that Texas defense. And in that first Texas game, I'm talking about when they went to Austin and he went down there and threw 3 interceptions and only threw for like a little over 100 yards and no touchdowns. All right, helmet stickers, man. I'm gonna let you go first, bro. Your helmet sticker.
I'm gonna I'm gonna get my helmet stick to Carson back.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him. You know what I'm
What's
saying?
this newfound love affair with Carson Beck? Because you were singing a totally different tune last year, and don't say you didn't, because I got receipts. I can pull up the footage now. Were you and Tony getting into it about Carson Beck?
Yeah.
Shout
But
out to Sniper and you knew.
I'm gonna say this. Don't it just the way he been playing the last two games and been under control, and you know what I'm saying. And I think he finally
He
found
been handing the
his.
ball off, man. He been
Yeah,
handing the ball off. You can
yeah,
do that. You
yeah.
could have got
But
out there and did that.
but the thing about it is, look, what quarterback ain't gonna hand the ball off? He gonna help them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like football. You gonna throw the ball all the way. The quarterback gonna throw it every down. You know what I'm saying? Every play. But I think his mindset is gonna be totally different this ball game. He ain't gonna try to do too much.
So once again, your helmet sticker's going to Carson Beck.
Yep, I ain't changing my mind.
Okay. Okay. I'm going the total opposite. Helmet sticker is going to go to one of these two pass rushers. Then pay close attention because it's a bold ass prediction. If Ohio State win, it's going to be because of Arvell Reese getting pressure on Carson Beck. If Miami win tonight, it's going to be because of Ruben Baines. Ruben Baines Jr. getting pressure on Julian Sand. So those going to be my two candidates for the helmet sticker. The two pass rushers on both teams. One of them is going to get hit. One of them is going to get the helmet sticker because the victory is going to be because of one of those two.
All right, all right.
All right, man. What's the count? What's the count, bro? Because we got like 4+1, four bowl games plus the playoff game. So we got 5 that we're gonna pick from today. What's the count? Where we at now, man?
I don't have the paper right in front of me. You know I'm on the road. You know I'm on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, and in this game right here, I cannot go against Vandy, bro. I can't go against Vandy in this game.
I'm gonna put it like this, man. Now we're gonna find out who the best conference is. We're gonna find out by the end of the day whose conference because you got the big boys playing against each other. I'm taking Vanderbilt, man. Pavia gonna show out. Alexander gonna show out. Vanderbilt gonna put on the show. They're gonna show out today. Vanderbilt's gonna show out today. I'm taking the Commodores on this one.
I say, Bill, you going with the same team. I took Vandy.
All right, the Sun Bowl. I remember, man, when I was a kid, man, this game used to come on Christmas Day. I remember after opening up, my gifts, and throwing away the wrappers and stuff, this game would come on at 12 noon, the Sun Bowl, live from El Paso. Arizona State versus Duke got the Big 12 versus the ACC. The ACC champions Duke. I think Duke gonna come out angry, pissed off, because a lot of people feel like Duke should have deserved some kind of consideration for the playoffs. But they're the only conference champion in the Power Five that didn't get a playoff spot. So they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder, and I think they're gonna come out and take care of business against Arizona State, even though the crowd is gonna be Sun Devil heavy because it's in El Paso, which is not that far from Arizona. But give me Duke in this
I got to go the opposite of you because the Duke players could be angry all they want to. They had 3 losses, although they did win the ACC, and they were lucky to get into the ACC championship game. Mind you, right? So I'm going Sun Devil.
one.
I'm going Arizona State.
All right. You going for the upset. Big 10 versus Big 12. Um, both teams have Nebraska, Raiola opted out. Nebraska had a lot of opt outs. Utah's coach is no longer there. But I think this Utah team, based on talent wise and based on my eye test, this Utah team is just a little bit better than Nebraska. Give me the Utes in this one.
I'm going to say this: Utah is Utah, and Nebraska ain't been Nebraska since what? Tom Osborne was there as head coach. Give me Utah.
All right. Actually, Nebraska was hell back in the early 2000s. Tom Osborne retired in '97 after he won his third national title, and Nebraska was they were rolling. In 2000 and 2001, they went to the BCS championship game. They got blowed out by Miami, but they went. Um, the Citrus Bowl, the Citrus Bowl. I am willing to bet that this time next year, this bowl game will be included in the playoff format, the Citrus Bowl, when they go to 16 team format. But these are the two bubble teams right here: Texas versus Michigan. Talking about the SEC versus the Big Ten. You got one right here. Texas is coming in with a chip on their shoulder. Big Michigan has been facing all kinds of embarrassment and turmoil all season. Too many distractions going on up there in Ann Arbor for the last 30 days. Give me the Longhorns. They got a chip on their shoulder. They feel like they belong in the playoffs. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Texas would have made some noise in the playoffs, but we'll never know. But give me the Longhorns in this one.
I'm gonna say this. I'm going with Texas too, and because they battle Texas, the SEC, Michigan, like you said, they going through what they going through up there, and plus they had to come and find out. They had to find out they lost one of their recruits to the SEC team. So give me the Longhorns.
All right. And that brings us to the main event, the one we all been waiting on, brother. Tonight in Dallas, in Jerry World, AT&T Stadium, the quarterfinals. Winner, the winner goes to Scottsdale, Arizona, to play the winner of Ole Miss and my Georgia Bulldogs. Gonna start off with you. Who you got, brother?
I'm taking Miami. I'm taking Miami. They're gonna surprise a lot of people, and I think the players like they gonna show they belong on the same field with Ohio State. And I think Ohio State gonna make a lot of mistakes. They gonna be able to put Miami away early, and Miami gonna win it by a field goal.
Bold prediction. Ladies and gentlemen, D Trooper picking the upset. You know, I've gotten cool with a few Miami Hurricane podcasters. Uh, nice fellows, uh, great content creators. Shout out to D Zone In Sports. Shout out to you, brother. I watch you every chance, every time you go live, man. My notification is there. I enjoy. I love your content. And for those of you that hadn't subbed up to Zone In Sports, make sure you go over there and sub up to him. I hope he goes live and does a pregame show. Um, and I've been on the panel with him and him and his co-host, man. They they roll out the red carpet for me, even though they know I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. With all that being said, this is business. It ain't personal. This is business. This ain't personal. Um, I love Miami. I love the city. I love everything. I love your uniforms, man. I think the Miami Hurricane, y'all got the best uniforms in college football. Um, y'all got all the pieces to beat this Ohio State team. You got the defensive line, you got the offensive line, you got one of the best running backs in the nation. You got a young, strong, hungry, fast, hard hitting secondary. You got all the tools to beat this Ohio State team, except one. I just don't trust Carson Beck against this Ohio State defense. If y'all had Cam Ward, or if it was, if it was any other corp, I just don't trust Carson Beck. A non number one, a non. We're not even talking about the interceptions yet. I'm talking about the mobility. He does not have the ability to extend drives with his legs. He don't have that, and that hurt us a lot when he was playing for my Georgia Bulldogs. The fact that he couldn't extend drives when he got in trouble, you pass rusher, you got these pass rushers nowadays that are running 4.5 and 4.6. And he's not fast. He's slow footed. He's slow in the pocket. He's a good passer, an elite passer with an elite arm. And when he's on, he's on. Like D Truth said, he's accurate as hell when he's on. Salute to you, Chaos. Happy Friday to you. But against this defense, these speed rushers, Arvell Reese, Curry, Sonny Styles, and you know Matt Patricia, he loves to dial up blitzes and send safety blitzes as well. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. If y'all had Cam Ward, I would not hesitate. I would not hesitate to pick Miami to win this game. But Carson Beck is my biggest concern. That is why I have to give the edge to Ohio State tonight. I think it'll be close. I think it will be close, but I think it's going to come down to Carson Beck making a crucial mistake. Trying to press too hard, he's going to make a crucial mistake. Kind of like what Quinn Ewers did last year in that Cotton Bowl last year against Ohio State. So I'm looking at something like maybe 20-17 or 21-17. 21-17, because I could see Miami having the ball last, down by 4 points, and they need a touchdown. They're trying to drive, and Carson Beck, that's when he slips up and make a crucial mistake, turn the ball over. Game, set, match, Ohio State. Please, all you Miami fans, don't get upset with me, man. I've expressed my concerns when I was on the panel over there, Zone In Sports. I expressed my concerns. I said if I was a Canes fan, my biggest worry would be Carson Beck, because I think he's the weakest link on that team. But here's the thing. Miami ain't going nowhere. I think Miami is going to be right back in the playoffs next year. And I think Miami just whichever quarterback, and this portal is loaded with quarterbacks, whichever quarterback they pick up in that portal, as long as he's a mobile quarterback that don't turn the ball over, I think Miami will be right back in it, because they're recruiting good. Crystal Ball's turned that program around. They got some damn good young talent. Salute to you, Renrock. They got some damn good young talent in that secondary and on that D-line. Miami will be back next year. No matter what happens tonight, Miami will be back in the playoffs next year, and they will run away with that ACC conference. They'll win their first ACC title next year. That's my prediction. So, I'm calling Ohio State, so we differ on that one. We differ on that one. So hey, I can't guarantee that my pick will be correct. D True can't guarantee that his pick will be correct, but one thing we can guarantee, we both agree, this is gonna be a game tonight. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think this will be a very entertaining game, and I think it'll go down. It's gonna be a 4-quarter battle. But I just I just don't think I just don't think that Carson Beck will be able to lead them past this Ohio State defense. So
Yeah.
here's what it is.
Another thing we on and somebody going home tonight.
Yeah. Somebody going home tonight. Somebody going on and somebody going home. Definitely. Somebody's going on. Somebody is heading to Arizona and somebody is heading home. So that is definitely going to be that outcome is guaranteed one way or the other. All right, brother. You got any final thoughts? Uh any comments on the Cam Coleman situation? Being that you're an Auburn fan.
I'm gonna
Normally I
say
would
this.
start off with that at the top of the program, but I'll let you, close it out. Voice your opinion on how you feel about the situation.
Well, I'm like this right here. Cause, cause I don't care what team your college team is. If a player said they in the transfer portal, that don't mean they actually going to lead the team. So the portal don't open to January the 2nd through January the 16th. Until they go, they gone. But I'm like this with Cam Coleman. I wish him the best. If we do decide to transfer, I wish him the best. And and I'm like this right here. Just the day and age of college football this year. The day and age of college football. New coaches come in, you're not gonna be able to keep the players that you had there. And I'm gonna tell all the fans, hey, when he do all the transfers, well, we got about 30 players transferring out. Now we're gonna see what Alec did. They make the right decision to hire Alec Goldish, and I might do a War Eagles Zone tomorrow night just to give y'all an example of what really was going on behind the scene, what it was all about. So, hey,
All right.
because we got receivers coming in, we got quarterback coming in, so it put it away, it's gonna be a rebuilding stage for Auburn coming next year. So, like I always say, love respect yourself. Cause when you love respect yourself, you can see through all the BS. And self love the best kind of love. Cause who can love you better than you love yourself? Peace.
Amen to that, brother. Hey, be careful on the Ciroc tonight now. Be careful on the Ciroc. Don't drink too much, man, and be careful and enjoy your New Year's Eve, brother.
It ain't gonna be too. It ain't gonna be too much. Cause I gotta go in tomorrow, so it's alright.
Okay. Okay. All right, brother. Well, you heard it here first. D Truth will be doing a War Eagle Zone tomorrow night for all you Auburn fans. Make sure you go over there and tune in. He will be bringing you the latest inside information on the Cam Coleman and Deuce Knight situation, entering the transfer portal. So I want to thank all of you for coming out. I know it's an odd start time this morning, starting at 9:15 on a Friday morning. Hey, but we're in playoff mode. Like I said, when we're in playoff mode, whatever day the games are played on, we're there. So it happens to be New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve fell on a Wednesday. So hey, it is what it is. We're here, and tonight is the night. The Cotton Bowl, Miami versus Ohio State. I've heard a lot of content creators giving their opinion on tonight's game, and hey, The time is here. So everyone, I want to thank all of you for coming out. For those of you that didn't get a chance to type in the chat, for those of you that was ghost watching, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know. Tell me what you think. How do you think this game is going to go tonight? Do you think Miami will pull off the upset, or do you believe Ohio State will win? We have a poll, and so far, who wins the Cotton Bowl tonight? So far, 60%. This is a surprise. 60% have Miami upsetting Ohio State. 60%, 40% has Ohio State winning the game. So that is a huge surprise there. So everyone, thank you all for coming out. Be safe out there tonight. We won't be doing a post-game show tonight. We'll be doing a post-game show tomorrow, definitely, but not tonight. So for everyone, I'm Amondo Black, my co-host D Truth. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the kickoff show, the morning Road to Miami, Friday morning kickoff show. Please be safe out there. Enjoy your New Year's Eve, but please be safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Like I've been saying throughout the holidays, this is a wonderful time of the year. Unfortunately, it also can be the most dangerous time of the year. This time of the year, unfortunately, brings out the fools. So please be aware of your surroundings and please be safe. Like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be, no matter what, win, lose, or draw, it's always going to be, to the day I die, go dog, sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. Everyone enjoy your New Year's. Happy New Year to you. Peace and blessings. Thank you all for all the support that you've given this channel in 20 East Media Sports and 20 East Media Network in 2025. 2025 is gone. We're looking forward to 2026. So everyone, be blessed. Happy New Year. Love you all. Peace and blessings. And I am out. you